So this is a presentation about Spotlight, but we're going to kind of see the other side of Spotlight that a lot of people don't realize is there. Most people think of the Spotlight bar, command space, pop it up, search for, say, launch an application by the first couple letters. Interesting tip, you can now, actually for a few operating system versions now, you can type initials of applications. So like system preferences, you can launch with SP. On the outliner, you can launch with OO. Other than that, it's not a good fuzzy search like launch bar or Alfred. A lot of people search for files by file name. Files you've worked on recently, you probably remember any part of the name, and Spotlight will find that pretty fast for you. Maybe if you're used to it, you use a full text search, so you can search the content of any PDF or document. Spotlight these days recognizes natural language, so you don't have to use a lot of crazy syntax stuff. You can write things like, presentations I was working on late last night. Pause for laughter. And then like PDFs I created last year, or take a walk down memory lane and say, show me photos from last September. Check it out, laser pointer. Or you can get nerdy. There are criteria that you can define, like kind : PDF, or date : and then you put it in month, day, year syntax, which is weird. Why not ISO? I don't know. But then there's modified dates and file name specific stuff and a ton more that you can't remember, because then you get into the Boolean searches, which allow you to use parentheses and quotes to combine multiple criteria and do crazy cool searches. But again, you're in a short Spotlight bar and you can't even see your own whole query once you get far enough. And ultimately, Spotlight syntax is ugly. There's a solution. Spotlight in Finder. Well, that's smart, which is a joke that would have made a lot more sense if I had saved it until after the next part. You'll get it. You'll get it. So in the Spotlight bar, when you pull up the search and you click Show All in Finder, what that does is move the search into a Finder window and give you all of your results. This is still Spotlight. And if you go up and you click the little plus sign at the top, you can start building your criteria. So instead of typing out kind : PDF and date, etc., you can just start kind of more intuitively building those with criteria, comparison, and a value for it. And then you can continue hitting the plus key to start making combined criteria. This is just kind of showing, you can add extra keys to your at the bottom of this pop-up, you click Other, you can turn on a whole bunch of stuff that'll just make it really confusing like this. And then your comparison will change based on the criteria you select. And then enter a value in a picker. That's way easier than trying to remember the month, day, year format. Then if you hold the Option key, you can, and don't worry, there will be a video, I will recap this. But if you hold the Option key, all of the plus symbols will turn into ellipses, and those create nested groups. So here, actually, video. Very brief. But that's holding Option, clicking it, and now it's created a Boolean group where I can choose any, all, or none, which would be and, or, and not for Boolean nerds. Was that a sarcastic wow? So this is a quick kind of complex search I put together, and I can tell you that trying to type this out in a line in Spotlight would be infuriating. So building it this way it's smart. Again, that'll make more sense in a sec. So what we have here, though, is 3 groups. The indented ones are the first level of nested groups. So the top level says all. So each one of the first indentation has to evaluate to true for a file to pass and be shown. The other thing about the Spotlight and Finder is you don't see all of the web searches and dictionary searches and everything. You're only seeing files. So that's what this is useful for. So this first criteria, the created date, has to be true. There's no alternative to that. In the second group, the kind I'm searching for could be a markdown file, or it could be a presentation, or it could be any kind of image. So if any of those are true, that group evaluates to true. If the name of the file contains Spotlight, or it contains Macstock, or it's tagged with Macstock, that group evaluates to true. And I could do a whole thing. That was actually my second pitch, was a tagging presentation. But I started to write a book on tagging and never finished it because everything keeps changing, and Apple doesn't really love tagging as much as we thought they did. So once you've created this complex search and it's showing you the files that you kind of expected it to, you can hit save, and you can, down in the bottom, click add to sidebar and make a saved search. And then when you use that search, all the criteria up here disappears. And you can just see what's in that folder. And you can use this to create project folders. Like this would be a project folder for a Macstock Spotlight presentation. So anything I add anywhere in my system that matches those criteria will automatically show up in this folder, and I can use it as a project folder without having to specifically keep moving files into it. Yeah, so that's smart. I got a laugh, someone, like the callback joke. Just FYI, if you right-click on the smart folder in the sidebar and click, I believe it's show queries, or show criteria, it'll let you go back and edit. It'll bring back all the criteria, and you can modify those. So nerd stuff, which you would expect if you know me at all. But keyboard shortcuts are like my favorite thing in the world. I'm going commando. Yeah, that was actually L's. Yeah. So if while you have a file selected in Spotlight, you hold down the command key, it's going to show you the path to the file at the bottom. So on a system like mine, if I do a full text search, I am going to get 100 readme.md results, and with no path. So I can flip through them and hold down the command key and actually see where those files are. Your search results in the Spotlight window are always sorted by category. You've got like PDFs and presentations and developer files. Command up and command down jump straight through categories. Command return is a handy one. If you hit enter, you're going to open whatever you have selected. But if you hit command, I'm going to say return. Yeah, enter is technically function return. But you hit your return key. Command return will open that file. It'll open Finder and select that file so you can jump to its location without opening it. Command I will do the same thing, except it'll pop up the Finder Get Info window. Command L, if one of your results in the Spotlight bar is a dictionary definition, Command L will jump straight to the definition and show you the full dictionary results for it. Command B searches the web. You would think that stands for browser. I'm pretty sure it's for Bing. I'm serious, like it says, results from Bing at the bottom. So Command C is a cool one if your query in the search bar has provided a result other than a file. So calculations, for example, which I'll show you in a sec. But Command C will copy the result of the search. And then Control N and Control P, I shouldn't do this, but we're going to jump to the Emacs key bindings that have been in Mac OS from the beginning. What was that? Oh, wow. The ones that are actually most useful, and I think, like, even I make my parents use them. Control N is next, Control P is previous. So Control N and P are the up and down of the Emacs keystrokes. And you can use those in the Spotlight window so you don't have to take your fingers off the home key, or off the home row. And like it annoys me when I can pop something up with a keyboard command, but then I have to use my mouse to do anything. So Control N and Control P are extremely handy. I'm going to stop with the nerd stuff now because I'm sorry. Okay, but if you go to brettterpstra.com, this whole presentation along with all the nerd stuff, we'll get into like MD find and MD query syntax. And so the bar, what is it good for? Pause for laughter. All right, we're back to the bar now. We're going to do some magic here. I think these have slowly filtered in, but as of Sierra, there's an amazing number of results gathered from the web. You can type in a query that includes news, and one of your section results will be news with full summaries, so you can just kind of check the news real quick for any given topic. Definitions, as I mentioned before, if you type in a word, it will show you the dictionary results for that word, and Command-L will jump straight to them. And if you haven't noticed yet, it handles acronyms and initialisms, so when a young person sends you a text that includes something that, and this is one I always have to look up, I always think it's smack my head, which has a different connotation than shaking my head. So it doesn't do like emojis, I won't tell you much, but you can actually search with emojis. I didn't put that in here, but if you put like a pizza emoji in, it'll show you the closest pizza joints. It works with pizza and sushi and beer, and if you put a hot pepper in, it'll show you grocery stores. It's fun. Also, the command control space window for emoji input, if you have it to disappear after you click something, it won't input anything at all, so it's kind of a pointless. It's a gimmick. Calculations, it can do fairly complex calculations, including sine and cosine and geometric functions. Yes. In fact, it's based on the math function that's from C. So if you do man math in terminal, you can see all the stuff it can do. But again, if you hit Command C here, you're going to get 20.965. So you can calculate very quickly what that 30% sale on a $29.95 product is going to be, and then copy the price into your expense report. Scores, sportsy stuff. If you type relevant team name or country or anything, and then score, it's going to show you current scores. I have no idea what this is. Women's World Cup, maybe. But if you're into sports, this will make sense to you. Unit conversions are awesome. You can type in 14 feet and it'll give it to you in meters, yards, inches, centimeters, and millimeters. You could type that out as 14 FEET and find the same, or 14 yards, and it would tell you the foot version. Currency conversion, you can quickly get a price converted into euros, pounds, yen, Canadian dollars, Swiss francs. Data from Yahoo, not Bing, but weather, just a quick, like I thought I had to use LaunchBar for this, but now you can just type weather and get the full current conditions and forecast, and you can continue typing any city, anywhere in the world, and it will give you the local weather for that city. You can also use Wiki, and if there is a match, it has to be an exact match on Wikipedia, but if there is, it'll give you a really nice summary with all of the kind of sidebar data and everything for your results. I'm pretty sure, yeah, that is the end of the official presentation. I will be, as I've said, expanding on this at brettterpstra.com. You can find me as TTScuff on Twitter. Questions? Oh wait, hold for applause. No, we'll say that.